Over the last few years, Disney has lost all of its reputation as the dominant company for kids and family entertainment. The live-action remakes have been widely criticized for their mediocrity. Pixar has lost its popularity with adults with a loss of quality, and recently, with their newest additions in Marvel and Star Wars, both properties have tanked. Disney Plus itself, despite pouring $10 billion into the platform, has only recently become profitable with the merge with Hulu. This is what most people will tell you about why Disney's brand has become depleted. And while that is part of the story, it's not the entire reason why Disney is still considered this way. It's widely agreed upon that Disney's last big years before their current state were in 2017 and 2018. While neither of these years had any particular standouts, the movies that did well were universally praised, like Coco, Avengers Infinity War, and others. However, in 2019, despite almost all their movies breaking $1 billion, almost all of them were considered universally mediocre to bad. 2019 gave us Captain Marvel, Rise of Skywalker, Frozen 2, Toy Story 4, and not one, not two, not three, 4 live-action remakes. While 2019 was incredibly profitable for Disney, it essentially ruined their brand as a whole. Especially when in 2020, theaters were shut down and Disney put all their movies on streaming, and people stopped going to theaters. Ever since then, Disney has been trashed online for its drop in quality, its live-action remakes, and terrible Disney Plus originals.
Requels, who says the industry's going down the tubes?
Everyone on the internet has ripped Disney to shreds for this, and they probably should have. But here's the thing, Disney will be ripped to shreds for putting out live-action remakes and sequels and race-swapping their characters, but over the last few years, those are the movies that are actually making them money. The live-action remakes are one of the few surefire billion-dollar hits at the box office nowadays. Mufasa and Lilo and Stitch are 2 movies that were pretty unremarkable, but they still made $1 billion because of the brand they're attached to. Moana 2, Toy Story 4, both made $1 billion. Why is that? It's because Disney lost the trust of the consumer with their recent movies, particularly with Turning Red. Turning Red was in no way a bad movie, but it was the first of many that Disney Pixar put out that no longer taught the kids a good moral in their movies. What did Turning Red teach? It taught that it's okay to rebel against your parents. Because of this, the movies that parents are okay with taking their kids to see are the ones that they're familiar with, the ones that they think will be safe. But even with these remakes, the morals have been changed. In Lilo and Stitch, the whole premise of the movie is that Ohana means family, and family means no one gets left behind. Except apparently, they do get left behind because that's exactly what the remake did. Nani literally leaves Lilo in the hands of the state so she can go study to be a marine biologist on the mainland. But the fact is, Disney is still making a profit from these movies. After the pushback the Snow White movie got for race-swapping their lead, who was supposed to have skin as white as snow, it appeared that all live-action movies were put on the back burner. However, because how well Lilo and Stitch did, at the very least, the Tangled live-action movie is back on, and it appears a live-action Aladdin 2 is in the works as well. Speaking of the Tangled remake, it's been getting a lot of praise because they haven't been race-swapping their characters. There was a rumor that Rapunzel was going to be played by an Indian actress. Thankfully, that is not the case anymore. But however, they are casting Milo Mannerheim as Flynn Rider. Just because he's white doesn't mean he can play Flynn Rider, okay? But the fact is, that's definitely going to break $1 billion at the box office. As far as animated movies of late, the only ones to break $1 billion have been sequels. Moana 2, Zootopia 2, Toy Story 4, and Inside Out 2. Now, these were all decent to good films in my opinion, but Disney Pixar has actually put out other good films. For example, I thought Elia was a great film. I've seen it twice actually. It really brought back the emotional aspect to Pixar movies, but it did terribly at the box office. Why? Because it was being torn to shreds online before it even came out. Those who saw it in theaters already had a predetermined opinion on it because everyone seems to hate it. So if you actually watched the film, which I doubt you have if you're watching this video, let me ask you this. If you didn't like Elio, why didn't you like it? Did you go in expecting not to like it? Because to me, this seems like Disney is giving us exactly what we asked for, and people still don't want it. Similarly, Marvel has also released a few genuinely good projects recently. Thunderbolts is an amazing film. It has like a 7 or 8 out of 10 on IMDb. It was also one of the least profitable films for Marvel of all time. Same with Fantastic Four. I have some problems with the casting in that movie, and the choice of setting, and a lot of stuff, but overall, the film was really great. Now, neither of these films did nearly as well as probably the worst film of 2025, that being Captain America: Brave New World. What a terrible movie that was. So can you really blame Disney for trying to make money and picking the sequels and the reboots? So why are these films all doing so badly? Is it because they're being marketed poorly? Well, maybe with some Disney Plus shows like Wonder Man, but for the movies, no, I wouldn't say that's the case. Is it because the original movies are all bad? I would argue that is also not the reason. There have been good projects that have been doing badly at the box office from Disney. Is it because Disney lost the trust of the consumer? Well, sure, but with word of mouth, these films should be doing better. So to me, there are two reasons that original movies aren't getting money at the box office. One is that people just are no longer willing to see original films anymore. I think that this is likely the case, seeing as a movie like Captain America: Brave New World turned a profit, but I don't think it's a company-wide thing. I think it's just Disney right now that has this problem. Project Hail Mary is a movie that seems like the entire world is going to see right now. So while I do think the original films have a hard time at the box office for Disney nowadays, it's not the whole reason. A large part of this has to do with Disney's brand as a whole no longer meaning as much to the audience. And with the rise of YouTube reviews, where a lot of people are going to decide whether to see a film or not, the masses' opinions are being changed. People just don't have original opinions anymore. All they want to do is hear what other people have to say. So when most people are hearing that, oh, the Marvels is woke, they will all believe it. But if you actually watch some of these movies, no, there was nothing woke about the Marvels. It was a bad film, sure, but it was not woke.
You have to stop calling them terrorists.
Even when shows like Win or Lose show their first Christian character in over a decade from Disney, YouTubers are still trashing these shows. So yes, this is, as a whole, Disney's fault, because no matter what opinion people behind the movie used to have, as long as the final product was good, no one would care. But people nowadays will blame a movie being bad because it was ideologically driven, even when it's not. So yes, live action remakes have been trashed, rightfully so. Horrible MCU movies like Thor 4 and Doctor Strange 3, and whatever Captain America 4 was, that's obviously bad for theaters. But the consumer is choosing to see these movies. Disney isn't going to stop making them until they're no longer profitable. We can't really blame them for wanting to make money. So I encourage you, go watch Thunderbolts or Elio, and don't let someone else tell you that it's bad before you actually see it. Stop giving them money for bad movies, and show them that original movies are actually worth making.